Welcome to Knowledge Well Media. The information provided on this platform does not and is not intended to constitute legal advice. Instead, all information, content, and materials available on this platform are for general informational purposes only. Information on this platform may not constitute the most up-to-date legal or other information. This platform contains links to other third-party platforms and sites. Such links are only for the convenience of the reader, user, or browser. Knowledge Well Media, its subsidiaries, and its members do not recommend or endorse the contents of the third-party platforms. Users of this platform should contact their attorney to obtain advice with respect to any particular legal matter. No party, user, or browser of this platform should act or refrain from acting on the basis of information on this platform without first seeking legal advice from counsel in the relevant jurisdiction. Only your individual attorney can provide assurances that the information contained herein and your interpretation of it is applicable or appropriate to your particular situation. Use of and access to this platform or any of the links or resources contained within this platform do not create an attorney-client relationship between the reader, user, or browser and platform authors, contributors, contributing law firms, or associative members and their respective employers. The views expressed at or through this platform are those of the presenting host in their representative capacity only, not those of the individual private man or woman, who is separate and distinct. All liability with respect to actions taken or not taken based on the contents of this platform is hereby expressly disclaimed. The content in this session is provided as is. No representations are made that the content is error-free. Your participation hereafter constitutes your voluntary and intentional consent to and understanding of this disclaimer and notice. If interested, you may attain a video copy of this session. The minimum donation to do so is $25. Simply submit your video request to knowledgewell4u@gmail.com. State the date and time of the desired session and submit the minimum donation of $25 to our Cash App, $American Consulate. Turnaround time is usually 24 hours. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
How can they get a personal form or character that represents their inanimate legal name, legal entity, that abstract idea of state, that creature of charter, that artifice? How can they do it? It's through recognition or recognition, or through your recognizance bond. The contract is mere inducement, meaning the contract is used to lure you. What does it do once it lures you? Creates the state of thing, meaning it creates the status of thing. What it's telling you is they use contract with terms and conditions within that contract to change you from your natural state to a different status. And the status that they want to change you to is one that can be charged with something, because a human being cannot be charged with anything. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome. Trying to get everything worked out here. I don't know what happened to my intro. All of a sudden it stopped playing, and now I had to improvise, come up with some other fillers. But I'm so glad that you are here. Make sure that you let me know what state you're representing when you come on in. I see MacBone Files is already here. Good evening to you as well. Thank you for your support. Make sure you hit the like button when you come on in. Give me that thumbs up so we can beat that algorithm. It's been whooping on us lately. but we can give it a black eye or two by hitting that thumbs up button as you come on in. I appreciate it. Sound off on the state that you're representing, and we're going to have a great show this evening. Definitely look forward to hearing from you. Haven't heard from you guys in a while. Happy March the 30th. Wow. Already at the end of March. Spring is sprung, as it were. Dallas, Texas in the house. What up, Mac Bone and Dallas, Texans? All right. How's the weather out there? What's it like? Share with us. Some of us are stuck in the Midwest here where it's, well, today actually is supposedly not that bad. I didn't even really make it outside today. I think upper 30s, mid 40s, I think we're at for the Midwest. So I imagine everybody else on the outskirts are experiencing some pretty some warm temperatures. But let me know that you are here. Make sure you hit that like button. I appreciate it. We're gonna have a great show, great information as usual. Glad that you are here. Let someone else know that you are here if you want to share this type of information that we're going to discuss here tonight. Definitely going to find some remedy in what we are discussing here this evening. All right. So let's get to the announcements, get those out of the way so we can move on to the informational section of the show. All right, so don't forget to go over to the Patreon there and join one of the 4 subscriptions that we have available to join the family and be part. The $15, $30, $50, and $100 tier levels. They right now, those are the segregations. However, right now, pretty much anyone you get into, you're getting great information. The only difference being in the near future, they will be more segregated. So, segregated in accordance with the offerings for each. All right. So make sure you get on over there and check it out. All right. Square site is where you can get all kinds of things, all kinds of articles, all kinds of brand stuff, things, I should say, from Knowledge Well Media, including booklets and pamphlets there that you see. We also have the Paradigm Shifters. It's a 4-hour webinar that we did that is pretty comprehensive when it comes to the topics that we discuss here at Knowledge Well. So definitely stuff you don't want to miss and partake in. And we add things pretty much on a weekly, if not a daily basis. So peruse through the store there and pick up some items here. It's a great way to support, and it's also a great way to attain or ascertain content from Knowledge Well Media if you appreciate the information. All right, and so also you can partake in consultations here at Knowledge Well Media. They start at $50 an hour, and we can discuss anything from trust education, status correction, law issues, family relation things that you might have, including child support you might want to discuss and consult about, all right, and other private rights and liberties, all right. So that's a great way to do it. Knowledge Well for you, the number 4, the letter U at gmail.com, all right. And what else we got? Last but not least, we definitely covet your support and your donations, all right, to help keep us going. Excuse me. Greetings, Kimberly. Welcome. To help keep us going, to help build the morale and the like. Okay, that's a great way to do it. So we appreciate you all, and thank you again for being here. And we are going to be discussing, amongst other things, whatever it is you're throwing in the comment section. The live chat it's active. I can see it right now. So if you have anything you want to say directly to me, or anything you want to introduce or have a discussion about, that's how you do it right there in the chat, okay? All right, let me do this. Throw up our little logo and our little donation scroll there. Make sure you know how you can take care of and support us over here at Knowledge Well Media, all right? So, again, welcome to Mac Bones, and he's shouting out from Dallas, Texas. Shout out your state, where you're from. We're going to have a great show, great information tonight. Kimberly is also here, and I believe Kimberly is from Florida. I can't wait to take a trip out there. It'd be great to come around and meet everybody. And okay, so tonight I thought it'd be fitting to talk about the Roe v. Wade case. It's a very much overlooked case, and if you don't know what you're looking at, you probably are missing a lot of things that can lead to the remedy. This is the year of remedy here at Knowledge Well Media 2022. That is one of my monikers, one of my sayings for this year is the year of remedy, year of application. The Nephilim is here, or Theo Nephilim. All right, and that is my cousin, in fact, from Atlanta, Georgia. We met up on Facebook, and you got to check them out. You got to check them out. You know, they say that the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, in this case, I can vouch for that statement. It's very much true. I came across his video, and I was like, wow, this young man is very articulate, has great content, a great presentation, very knowledgeable, and I was really impressed. And so I sent him an invite to join us here this evening. And Theo Nephilim, that's the name he goes by there in Atlanta. We got Atlanta, we got Dallas, we got Florida in the house. Who else we got in the house? Make sure you let someone else know that we are live right now. All right, so we are going to be talking the Roe v. Wade case. This is exciting. I'm excited. Excited about this, and you will be too. I'm certain of that. So let's get to it. All right, we're going to read a little bit, and then I'll go into my dissertation on it. It's very interesting. All right. All right. Thank you very much, Theo. I see you are appreciated. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. So here we go. Let's check it out. I kind of did some moving around here, so now I got to find my little tabs and buttons here, but we'll figure it out. All right. Excuse all the pop-ups and things like that. I'll have to figure out a way to get rid of those. But look at Roe v. Wade. Listen, guys. This is guys and gals. Roe v. Wade. All right. So here's the judge, I guess that so Harry A. Blackman. All right, and it says 1973. Okay, so Roe v. Wade, legal case in which the U.S. Supreme Court on January 22nd, 1973, ruled 7-2 that unduly restrictive state regulation of abortion is unconstitutional. I want you to pay attention to the parties mentioned here. The state regulation. So it's the state of abortion. What is abortion? Essentially, to put it gently and kindly, the removal of the fetus or, from the mother, okay, at a determined time. We're going to get more into that determined time in a short while here, but just laying the footwork, the framework, okay? So state regulation of abortion is unconstitutional. So it's against what the founding fathers wrote, the Constitution, okay? In a majority opinion written by Justice Harry A. Blackman, the court held that a set of Texas statutes criminalizing abortion in most instances violated, listen, a woman's constitutional right of privacy. I'm going to help you out here tonight. All right, we're going to take care of this. We're going to have good church here, good information. Watch this. Notice it did not say a person, okay, as in a legal entity, commercial entity, what have you, right? It said a woman's constitutional right of privacy, which it found to be implicit in the liberty guarantee of the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. What did the court find implicit? Listen. They violated a woman's constitutional right of privacy, the right of privacy for a woman, or in other words, a man as well, right, is found implicit. Your right over your body, your private right over your body, the court found to be implicit in the liberty guarantee of the Due Process Clause. Okay? So, and then they're quoting, well, let's look at implicit real fast. Capable of being understood from something else, though unexpressed, implied, present but not consciously held or recognized, not lessened by doubt, okay? Absolute, complete. Okay, that's what the court held about the right of privacy. It's a constitutional right. Okay, quoting, nor shall any state deprive any person notice the qualifier, what kind of, who? Any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Okay, let's get some background. The case began in 1970 when Jane Roe, a fictional name used to protect the identity of the plaintiff, Norma McCorvey, okay, instituted federal action against Henry Wade, the district attorney of Dallas County. So let me just help you out, or Dallas County, Texas. Okay. Do we have Texas in the house? We did have Texas in the house. Yeah. Mac Bone, we're in your backyard here tonight. All right. So let's do this. Check it out. This lady, whom at first they used a fictional name, who we now know as Norma McCorvey, listen, she instituted federal action. Notice it was a state matter, right? Because it was the district attorney of Dallas, Texas. However, it was brought to as a federal action against whom? The district attorney of Dallas County, Texas. Okay? Now, and Henry Wade was the defendant in that case, okay? Okay, so it says, the Supreme Court disagreed with Roe's assertion. Listen, watch this. Disagreed. San Antonio's in the house. What up, Bobby Massey? What's going on? Welcome. Come on in. Make sure you hit that like button as you come on in. This is going to be Remedy 101 for you here tonight. All right? If you can pick up what I'm putting down, this is going to get very interesting. All right, so listen. The Supreme Court disagreed with Roe, the lady, right, who's saying that she has the absolute right to abort her child at any given time, right? She has the right of privacy, whatever. Okay, so watch this. It says the Supreme Court disagreed with Roe's assertion of an absolute right to terminate pregnancy. That's what they're saying abortion is, right? In any way and at any time, and attempted to balance a woman's right of privacy with a state's interest in regulating abortion. Now, I want to just go over a couple things here. Number one, all right, they're going to balance her right to terminate her pregnancy, okay, that she claims she can do at any time, in any way, okay? And they're going to balance that against the state's interest. What happened here? Oh, it keeps switching every few seconds here, the formatting. But anyways, it threw me off. So, so the right of privacy with a state's interest in regulating abortion. Now, what do you think the state's interest in regulating abortion would be? What do you think that might be? Could that be that a state only exists because of its citizens, correct? Right? The government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed. Well, if there is no consent being given because there is no one being governed, then there really is no purpose of a state, right? There's no state. There's no power or authority given to the state to even exist, right? So the state's interest is in making sure that it has taxpayers, is in making sure that it has citizens. Well, if anybody can just arbitrarily terminate a pregnancy, think of how many women perhaps have gotten pregnant that did not want to be. I mean, how many abortions would we be having if it was not somewhat regulated? And I think that's what the Supreme Court is saying. Yes, we're going to probably recognize, and we'll see in a moment here, that yes, it's, you have the right of privacy, you have the right to terminate the pregnancy, but however, we need to put some balance there. We don't just want everybody just suddenly terminating pregnancies, because we'd have some kind of a pandemic on our hands, right? All right, so let's get back to it. So they want to balance it, though, her rights with the state's interest, okay? In his opinion, here we go, Blackmun noted that only a compelling state interest justifies regulations limiting fundamental rights. What an example of a fundamental right? We have it right here. Privacy. Ask yourself a question. You feel like your fundamental rights are being limited? By your particular state, perhaps? Okay, listen, watch this. You're going to learn something here. All right. They noted that only a compelling state interest justifies regulations limiting fundamental rights, such as privacy, and that legislatures must therefore draw statutes narrowly. They cannot be broad. They cannot just drudge up all kinds of things from the bottom of the seafloor when they're only supposed to have a compelling interest narrowly drawn in their law, in their statutory enactments. Okay? To express only the legitimate state interests at stake. The court then attempted to balance the state's distinct compelling interests in the health of pregnant women and in the potential life of fetuses. It placed the point after which a state's compelling interest in the pregnant woman's health would allow it to regulate abortion at approximately the end of the first trimester of pregnancy. Okay? With regard to the fetus, the court located that point at capability of meaningful life outside the mother's womb, or what they call viability, which occurs at about 24 weeks of pregnancy. All right, let me give you the backdrop on what we've read thus far. They're weighing the state's interests against against the mother's, against the mother's rights, okay, of privacy to her own body. And what they've determined is, for as far as the state's interest in the pregnant woman's health, okay, they said would allow at approximately the end of the first trimester of pregnancy, for whatever intents and purposes. They said at the end, okay, the state's interest in regulating in accordance with her health, the best interest of her health, all right, when it comes to regulating abortion, is saying is at the end of the first trimester of pregnancy. What is that? 3 months, right? 3 months? Yeah, I believe it's 3 months. All right, never had experienced it before myself, so I could be wrong. But Kimberly's here. You can tell me. All right, so keep going. Now, more pertinent to our discussion tonight is the fetus. We're discussing the state's interest in regard to the abortion or termination of the life of the fetus. Okay, it said the court located that point, okay, where essentially that fetus could survive outside of the mother or independent of the mother. They called that the point of viability, and they determined medically, okay, that point would be 24 weeks. Okay? Let's see what else they got saying here before I really get to going here. Let me see if they got something else good in here that we want. Repeated challenges since 1973 narrowed the scope of Roe v. Wade, but did not overturn it. It still stands. Make sure you hit that like button as you come on in. That thumbs up, please. In Planned Parenthood of Southeastern Pennsylvania v. Casey, 1992, the Supreme Court established that restrictions on abortion are unconstitutional if they place an undue burden on a woman seeking an abortion before the fetus is viable. Meaning, if they pass a law that causes undue burden on the woman seeking an abortion before the point of viability, in other words, before it is able to survive on its own, and they determined 24 weeks was that point in time. So anytime 0 to 24 weeks, if a state makes a law or a rule, okay, a statute, all right, that means that it's unconstitutional and they're causing an undue burden on the woman. That's what they're saying. Look, in Gonzalez v. Carhart, 2007, getting closer to today, the court, please hit that like button as you come on in. We got multiple people here, but we don't have many likes. And I don't know, maybe I'm missing them or something. Okay, hit that button, that thumbs up button. This is going to get really interesting. You must pay attention. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial, all right? Watch this. The court invoked its, okay, excuse me. I went too far, which prohibited, what did I lose here? Okay. The court upheld the Federal Partial Birth Abortion Ban Act, 2003, which prohibited a rarely used abortion procedure known as intact dilation and evacuation. In Whole Woman's Health v. Hellerstedt, 2016, the court invoked its decision in Casey to strike down 2 provisions of a Texas law requiring abortion clinics to meet the standards of ambulatory surgical centers and abortion doctors to have admitting privileges at nearby hospitals. Okay, so this is going to get into the weeds here. Let me see here. Make sure we're not missing anything. In May 2021, the Supreme Court agreed to review in its October 2021 term a lower court's decision to strike down a Mississippi state law adopted in 2018 that banned most abortions after the 15th week. Listen, they're banning most abortions after the 15th week of pregnancy, well before the point of fetal viability. Now, I got to read that again. In May 2021, the Supreme Court agreed to review in its October 2021 term a lower court's decision to strike down a Mississippi state law adopted in 2018 that banned most abortions after the 15th week of pregnancy. Okay? So what was the result of that? Well before the point of fetal viability. Remember, they determined viability to be 24 weeks. So Mississippi had made a law that banned abortions after 15 weeks. Okay, so the Supreme Court is reviewing it. Although the law was plainly unconstitutional under Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey, Mississippi lawmakers passed the measure in the hope. Why does this thing keep moving like this? That an inevitable legal challenge would eventually make its way to the Supreme Court, where a conservative majority of justices would overturn or drastically reduce the scope of those decisions. The single question that the court agreed to consider in the case, Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, was whether all pre-viability abortions, goodness gracious, are unconstitutional. All right, they're not going into it here for us. But for all intents and purposes, we know what we're dealing with. Let's go back to the beginning. So what we're talking about, for those of you that are just coming in, all right, is that essentially when it comes to a woman's right of privacy, and that does not discount man or men, okay? Your privacy, your right to your body is the same. It's no different. Equal protection of the law. So, but then in this case, it has to do with abortion, so it's a female or woman, okay? And so when it comes to a woman and her right to abort or terminate the pregnancy, they held that at up until 24 weeks, 0 weeks to 24 weeks, she has the right to terminate the pregnancy. Now, the question is, and I thought they might have gone in on their deliberation as to why that is. But since they're not, it doesn't look like. I was really hoping they would. I'll have to find another case that goes in deeper on it. But the reason why is because, again, of the right of privacy, meaning this is my body. I have inherent and natural rights within this body. Those are my property. The rights that I have naturally, God-given, as some people call it, rights, are mine naturally. And no state or government can come in between my inherent rights and myself. And so when it, even to the point of terminating pregnancy, remember, they were looking for the point of viability. The point of viability means the point at which this fetus living inside of her, of a woman, becomes able to survive apart from the woman. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because this is about to get real deep. So, listen. At the point of viability, that is the determination that was medically made that this is now separate and distinct from the mother. Meaning that it can now be classified or considered a separate and distinct entity or person for a compelling state interest, because the compelling state interest is that the state has citizens, taxpayers, contributors to society, right? All right, so they don't want to lose their contributions. So they can't just have women arbitrarily, again, terminating pregnancies at any time, at any point, any place. You picking up what I'm putting down? All right, so with the point of viability being determined by medical doctors in this case, now we know that anything before that point of viability, that fetus is one and the same with the mother. And since, and if, and though that is the case, what does that tell you? If she can terminate the pregnancy, if she can destroy the fetus within her because it belongs to, it is one and the same with her body, and the state to make a law that says that she cannot is deemed unconstitutional, that should tell you, and that certainly tells me, that the state, when it comes to my body, my physical flesh and blood, any law, any statute, any code, any ordinance that they pass is in violation of your constitutional protections. When it comes to your body. I'm gonna let that sink in for a moment. The whole issue is all over whether or not this is truly a situation involving one woman and her privacy rights in her body, or if this is the woman and a separate existence that can live independent of her body. That's what it all came down to. It all comes down to that 24-week period of viability. At what point is this fetus considered independent and separate, or can survive without the mother? Now, with that being said, Bobby Whitset is here. Whitset? I think that's Whitset. Whitset. He said, sunk. Amen. Amen. All right, you getting it. You getting it. Because guess what, y'all? Guess what? I'm going to tell you in a moment. Stay right where you are. Most of you know that as the human, parallel to this legal entity, this artifice of state, this creature of charter, you act as the surety for it. More times than not, you're ignorantly identifying as the legal entity. And so therefore that makes you the surety for it. They have to have a physical body or something to attach leans to and what have you. You're the one that provides the physical energy. You're the one that provides the labor for that legal entity.
Start your journey today by liking, subscribing, and sharing our YouTube channel, Knowledge Well Media, or by going to our Square site at knowledgewell-media.square.site and perusing over the available content and information. Also by submitting your email at the bottom of the Square site page in the Stay in the Loop section to receive priority information, specials, and other insider details. Or by signing up for a 1-hour consultation to tailor your specific educational needs in beginning your journey. You may do so at the aforementioned Square site, once again at knowledgewell-media.square.site. Here are a few other items in demand on our Square site. The Person Defined series, a 9-part video lecture series, comprehensively outlining the scheme to artfully deceive mankind into trading away his birthright, his natural liberties, and inherent rights. Pre-orders for The Yellow Bricks of Emerald, the first edition, offered presently as an ebook only. This book comprehensively uncovers the legal schemes, past, present, and future, of the elite powers and the U.S., subjecting American citizens to servitude and allegiance due to their own ignorance. The Knowledge Well Video Lecture Series Trust Course, a comprehensive lecture series educating on the history, effects, and administration of the wealth-preserving, asset-protecting, private commercial entity known as a trust. Plus, we have our very own template and instructions to help you set up yours. And, coming soon, our apparel and product store for all things Knowledge Well, including shirts, hats, jackets, cups, bumper stickers, and more. For all this and much, much more, as well as for any questions or comments, email to knowledgewell4u@gmail.com or go to our Square site at knowledgewell-media.square.site. And now, you've been made free. What are you going to do with it?
All right, and we are back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are talking about the very controversial Roe v. Wade case. All right, let me know that the sound is good. Let me know that the video quality is good. Happy March the 30th, 2022. If you are here, you are catching a winning discussion here. This is definitely where remedy is and where it can be found. And we're going to put it down. We're going to pick it up. All right, so hopefully you got your seatbelt strapped on. Hopefully you got yourself something to sip on. We'll be here for a little bit longer. I actually, while we were on the break, I actually found another. I'm at the constitutioncenter.org, and it's discussing the Roe v. Wade case, and they're going a little bit more into depth. Before I really put the cherry on top of my deliberation here this evening, I want to make sure. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Bobby says we're sounding all good. Bobby, what Whitset? I see that you corrected. Okay, very good. It is Whitset, and thank you for your appreciation of how we deliver information here, Bobby Whitset. Thank you very much. All right, so let's get back to it. I'm excited about this because when we put the cherry on top of this one, I think those of you that really value the education that we give here and can read between the lines, I think you're going to have a great time from now on when you're drafting your documentation, because you're definitely going to have some power and force to come with this Roe v. Wade case. All right, so let's get to it. All right. All right, so I just pulled this up here again. We're at the constitutioncenter.org. Let me blow it up a little bit for you, make sure you can see it good. Maybe we'll have less pop-ups here. All right, so again, just in review, let's see where we're at. The court said that as a fundamental right, any limitations on abortion must meet the standards of strict scrutiny. This meant that there must have been compelling state interest in regulating abortions, and the legislation must have been narrowly tailored to meet this compelling state interest. In other words, it better be specific and not be so broad as to affect anybody, including innocent bystanders that are not even interested or have a standing in the matter. Okay, so the court then assessed the state's interest. Justice Blackmun found two legitimate government interests. Okay, protecting the mother's health, all right, we covered that, and protecting the potentiality of human life. In order to balance the fundamental privacy right, there it is again, start saying that. Okay, when you're talking about your rights as a human, start using the word fundamental. Okay, all right, fundamental privacy right to abortion with these two state interests. Okay, the court created the Trimester Framework. Okay, this solution determined when the right to abortion would be without limitations and when the state's interest would be compelling enough to outweigh the woman's right to choose. The court said that during the first trimester, all right, that's the first 3 months, the abortion decision was left to the woman and her doctor. All right, you got it. Following the first trimester until fetal viability, right, the state's interest in the mother's health reaches the compelling level. You see this? Let's review. During the first trimester, which is 3 months, the abortion decision was left to the woman and her doctor. First 3 months, first trimester. Following the first trimester, after 3 months, and until fetal viability, the state's interest in the mother's health reaches the compelling level. And the state can regulate the procedure only if it reasonably relates to the preservation and protection of maternal health. Only if. When the point of fetal viability is reached, then the state could protect its interest in potential life and regulate abortion to that end. This includes banning the practice of abortion at that stage in the pregnancy. Got it? In 1992, the court adjusted the Trimester Framework in Planned Parenthood of Southeastern Pennsylvania v. Casey. In that case, the plurality asserted under the 14th Amendment that the mother had a constitutional right to abortion and that this right could not be unduly interfered with by the state prior to viability. What's known now as the undue burden test. And the point of viability is 24 weeks. Ever since the Roe v. Wade decision was issued in 1973, the case has remained one of the most contentious in the public sphere. Can you guess why? Can you guess why? How about if anybody really gets wind of this heated debate between the state's interest in your private body? Oh, you better believe it's a contentious debate. We better start talking about our fundamental and natural rights. We better start talking about the compelling state interest in opposition to your fundamental rights and the privacy of your humanity, your human body. See, too long we've been playing in the legal realms, playing with legal fictions and artifice of state and government. See, we haven't been standing on the humanity side. They always tell us, gurus always tell us, keep private separate from public. How about your private rights? How about your fundamental human rights that are protected not only in the United Nations, but also abroad, internationally. But how about you just don't know how powerful your private rights, your fundamental rights are, your privacy. You just don't know. We're too busy giving it away. Thumbprinting on the cell phones, facial recognition. We're too busy giving it away to even realize how important the privacy or privacy is. And they're raking in the dough on your ignorance. But not anymore, because now you've been made free. Question is, what are you going to do with it? All right, let's get back to it. So ever since, I'm here to free you today. That's what I'm here for, y'all. I hope you appreciate it. Make sure that you are supporting $2, $5. All is good. All right, send it to the Cash App. Ever since the Roe v. Wade decision was issued in 1973, the case has remained one of the most contentious in the public sphere. It has inspired political campaigns and movement and sparked debates throughout the nation around ethics, religion, biology, and constitutional law. Wouldn't you know it? I hope they give us more. Come on now, give us some more. Let's see. They're not going to give us any more. Oh, I thought they were going to go in. But I guess I could take it from here. All right. Without belaboring. Let's go to the whiteboard and see what we can get out of this, okay? Let's spell it out. Let me get this out of the way real fast. I apologize for the graininess. I do have the other camera, and I still have not put it up yet. Please excuse. I will get that thing up. In fact, maybe I'll spend some time doing that after after we get off of here. All right, so let me get a marker and let's get to it. I didn't cut the light. Let's see. All right. So hopefully that's not too grainy for you. What are we talking about here, y'all? What's really going on? Roe v. Wade. What's really going on? What's really happening? Roe v. Wade. And that's what was the year? Anybody remember? What was it, 73? Let's be accurate here. Yep. So January. So 01 22 73. All right. What's the deal? What's really going on? Okay. So what we have here is we have the state. Okay. All right. We have the woman, and we're talking about the human woman. There is no corporation or legal entity giving birth to or having a fetus, okay? It's just not happening. I don't care what you say, all right? So we have the state, we have the woman, and we have the fetus, okay? Parties. All right? On the state side, we have the district attorney, which was Wade, I believe, right? Okay. Now the state itself is a what's known as a political community, political community or a body politic, right? It's a fiction in law. It's a jural society. In fact, the synonym for jural society is state. I can show you. I have shown that to you. I've demonstrated that to you many times. All right. So hopefully you picked up what I put down. Let me adjust this real fast. Y'all ready to go to school? Let's go to school. Let's get this down. Let's glean what we're supposed to get from this. What the universe has put you here for this evening. Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay. So the state is a fiction, an artifice. All right. It's an ideology of man. Man created it. It's not natural law. It's what's known as positive law. They are distinguishable from each other. They are not one and the same. All right, I've proven that over and over again. So guess what? You have this actor known as a district attorney. That is a legal capacity. That's what that is. It's a man in a freaking suit And I don't mean a dress suit. I mean a capacity, an avatar, as it were. Playing in the game of state, in the ideologies of man. It's man-made law. It's not natural law. It's not what they call God-given law. It's not, the 10 Commandments. It's none of that. These are actors of state. In fact, they call it color, acting under color of law. All right? Now, then you have the woman. Oh my. Well, and the fetus. I got to draw a line here. This is where we draw the line in the sand. Because one is going to be the public and one is going to be private. Because the whole issue we are discussing here is public and private, aren't we? Well, I'll give you two guesses, or one guess as to which one is public. All right? So this is going to be the public. That's the public side. Public means government. It means governmental. It means the state. It's state government, federal government, local government. That's in the public. Then we get over here to the private side. This is what Roe v. Wade is all about. This distinction. That's what it's all about. And what is being argued is this woman here on the private side saying, I have the right to do what I want with my body. If I want to terminate the pregnancy, to remove the fetus from my body, I have that right to do it. It is my private right to do. It is my physical body. And what business do you have, state, you fictitious artifice, you ideology, you thought? What business do you have with what is going on here in my body? Now, so woman, physical body. And then we talk about the fetus, which is either attached. No, bad. How about dependent or not dependent? Okay, abbreviated. The fetus is either dependent upon the physical body of the mother. If dependent, then one. Okay? One with. If not dependent on her body, at which point does that take place? That is called, well, first of all, it's 24 weeks, and that's called the point of viability. Stands on its own, is not dependent on the mother's body. Now, what the state is saying that is fine. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want with your body, okay? You can make a decision for yourself whether or not you even want to be a citizen. That's called expatriation. You can decide that you no longer want to be a citizen or a participant of our state. So yes, we can't make a grown woman or man for that matter do anything against their will. However, when it comes to a fetus, it is unethical for you to make a determination for it that it has not made. In fact, you're not even giving it an opportunity or free will to make a decision for itself. And it has that right. You see what's going on here? It has the inherent right to make a choice and a decision just like you do. So even though you're the woman, the mother, and yes, the fetus came from you, after 24 weeks, you now owe it natural liberties, inherent rights to make a choice. And you, not even the mother, can take that away from that fetus because it's independent now. It has viability. It can stand on its own. It can survive, and therefore it can make a choice. Can I get an amen? Hallelujah. That's the issue. That's what Roe v. Wade was all about. Now, I'm going to pose something to you. Something to you. Can you see yourself in this scenario? Can you see yourself in this scenario? The public versus the private. When it comes to your physical, natural body, okay? You got this? I'm going to erase this because I need more board. I hope you got this. If not, you can also pick up this video and have it, all right? Ask me how in the comment section if you're interested. This is going to be powerful. You might want to get this. All right, so let's do this. So we know state versus the woman fetus. We know public versus private. Now let's put ourselves in this situation. Let's put ourselves in this situation and see how this works out. Okay? Let me help you out here. For those of you, I appreciate your support. Make sure we top this off. What are we at? As far as time-wise, we are at 57. Oh, we're rounding the corner on an hour already. Check this out, y'all. Let me look at the comment section real fast. Let's see. Wolf's Dark Art is here. Oh, good. Okay, Bobby with set. Yay. Yeah, the damn vaccine mandate I was fired for. All right. So, Bobby, you're definitely going to want to pay attention. Anybody that has been affected by this this vaccine issue or situation, here's your remedy. See what happens when you come over here to the Knowledge Well Media and the well is deep and there's all this information you could just take and disseminate and put it together, and let's give you something to fight with. Everybody that's been affected and anybody that was forced into taking that vaccine, I'm giving you remedy. Roe v. Wade is your remedy. Dred Scott v. Sanford is your remedy. Hale versus Hinkle, 1906, is your remedy. Stilches versus Rico exterminating, 1989, 1990, and I think 91, is your remedy. Ask me how. All right, so anyways, let's put ourselves in this situation. All right, so we got the state. All right, and then we have us. What are we going to say? Human. Okay, we have public, and we have private. All right, same thing. Oh, let's do this. We're going to set it up just the same way. We have the private side. We have human. And guess what? We can call it fundamental rights. Rights, whatever you want to say there. Okay? Because this is all on the private side. Now check this out, y'all. The state has what's known as a compelling interest. It has to make statutes and rules and laws in accordance with its own compelling interest. It cannot be broad. It has to be narrowly drawn. The statute must be specific in the compelling interest of the state. I didn't even write it. Okay? And it must be narrowly drawn. Now, when it comes to the state and the human, okay, the question is, what compelling interest does the state have involving your body, your privacy, your rights? Just like Roe v. Wade or Roe was saying, I can do whatever I want to with my body. And the state, you stay out of my business. And the court said, well, yeah, you're right up until a certain point. Because you have to allow that fetus the opportunity after so much time to make its own decisions, because then it, as a developed or viable being, has the opportunity to make a choice to be a citizen or a productive member of society. So even mom can't take that away. But in this case now, we're talking about a human and the fundamental rights. Ask yourself, what are your fundamental rights? How about nationality? Uh-oh, I'm about to help a lot of people out here. How about what? The 1 through 10, basically the Bill of Rights, the amendments to the Constitution. What do you think it was made for? Those are the fundamental rights protected from who? The state. Anytime the state interferes in the fundamental rights of a human, period, that is unconstitutional. So now you use Roe v. Wade as your remedy, and they must grant you relief. Otherwise, as they said, from 1973 to the present and on, there's been many challenges to Roe v. Wade, but none of them can stand up. Guess why? Guess why it's never been overturned? Human, private, fundamental rights. That's like saying they're going to go back and take away all the Bill of Rights for humans. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, fundamental rights, nationality. You have a right to choose your nationality. You have a right to change your nationality. You have the right of expatriation. I've shown that many times. Go to 8 U.S.C. Section 1481, Revised Statute 1999. Look in the notes section of 8 U.S.C. 1481, and you'll clearly see that it expresses your right of expatriation. And it even goes on to say that it's natural and inherent. And it says that no state, no officer of the United States can come in between it or even question your right to expatriation. Oh my goodness. And what is expatriation? To leave the citizenship in which you may have elected to be in and go find another. What else? It goes on and on. Right of self-determination. Those are your fundamental rights. They can't be questioned. They can't even be removed. These are known as also inherent. Do you know what this means? Inherent, unalienable, or unalienable. Do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? Inherent means what? Well, I'll give you a key, a hint. In. They come from within and work their way out. There's a difference between civil rights, citizenship rights, political rights, and inherent rights. These are rights, again, that come from within and they show without. You were born with them. And so now you can see where Roe is suing this actor, these state actors, these colorable offices, and putting them in their place and saying, wait a minute, we humans made you and gave you the position you're in. You did not make us and put us in a position. Let me demonstrate for you. And she did. And it changed the landscape. What did they say? It changed everything. It changed the whole game. It was so big that they changed her name to protect her identity. That's how big this issue was. So what I'm telling you today is you're already free. You just have to know it. We got to start pushing humanity. Guess what? They're pushing the legal system. The legal system is bound by the Constitution, which is an indentured document made by man. The whole government was set up by a man or men. But there is no government over a human without the human ceding or being subjected to it. They have to voluntarily do it. We just have to get back on our right footing, as it were. And so getting back to this, okay, you cannot be separated from your fundamental rights. If the state tries to come in between the human and their fundamental rights, that's impossible because they're inherent. You would have to kill the human in order to separate the human form from its inherent rights. It's one and the same. That's what Roe v. Wade was establishing. The point of viability, after the point of viability, now the state has a compelling interest. Ask yourself a question. At what point does the state have a compelling interest in your fundamental rights? How about this? How about when you separate your own self from them? How about when you, as a human, forget who you are? Oh. How about that? How about when you forget that you're a human and not a legal entity? Huh? Because if you become a legal entity or a citizen, what are you doing? You are taking on, what kind of rights does a citizen have? Political and, come on now, think. Political rights and civil rights. Uh-oh, so guess what you did? You said, because I don't want to be one that stands on my own, I always need some kind of social welfare programs. I need a handout from the government. I need subsidies. I need state welfare and governmental welfare. So what did you say? Oh, ixnay with this. I don't need no fundamental rights. That's the hard way. There's a much easier way now, and that's to take on civil rights and political rights. So all that civil rights marching you did in the 60s, thinking you were doing something significant, all you in effect did was waive your natural rights, your inherent rights, your unalienable rights, and you took on civil rights and political rights. And that's how you became separated. And now you're subject to, you're beyond that point of viability, where now the state has a compelling interest because you done took something you weren't born with. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I just gave you remedy. We'll be right back. How can they get a personal form or character that represents their inanimate legal name, legal entity, that abstract idea of state, that creature of charter, that artifice? How can they do it? It's through recognition or recognition, or through your recognizance bond. The contract is mere inducement, meaning the contract is used to lure you. What does it do once it lures you? Creates the state of thing, meaning it creates the status of thing. What it's telling you is they use contract with terms and conditions within that contract to change you from your natural state to a different status. And the status that they want to change you to is one that can be charged with something, because a human being cannot be charged with anything.
All right, and we are back. We are back. I hope that you are fired up. I hope I inspired something in you. We got to get on the right foot, as it were. There was a song or something like that. Get on the right foot. Was that James Brown or somebody like that? Bobby with Set says, I got to run, but thanks, bro. I truly appreciate you 100%. Awesome. I thank you for being here, for your support. You know, we content providers like myself, put in this much work and this much effort. You know, we really don't get the credit that we're due. I contend, at least. However, when just the few make sure that they let it be known that they appreciate it, it makes everything all right. You know, it makes me say I could do this for another day. All right, so I really appreciate that. Wolf's Dark Art, I really appreciate him. This brother has been working with me every day, just about. We've been dealing with federal court matters and different things like that, and he's really been by my side and helping out and really making sure that I'm on my P's and Q's. Kimberly, she's been a great help and an inspiration, and others of you out there as well. And I really appreciate that. Just want to let you know that, you know, no man is an island. I'm not here doing it by myself. Sometimes it feels like it, but that's not reality. I know I feel the care. I feel the love that you all extend. Even if you're not, you know, necessarily talking back and forth with me, but I still feel, you know, that energy, and I appreciate that. All of you out there that are with me. All right, so in recap tonight, Roe v. Wade, I want you to make sure that you look it over yourself. Don't just take what I'm saying, even though I am showing it to you live. But make sure that you look it over yourself and get glean more or garner more out of it than even I articulated here this evening, or tried to at least, and make sure that you get what you need out of it. But for all intents and purposes, this has everything to do with at what point does the state's compelling interest have to do with you as a human being? All right, and it's only looking for something that is essentially in addition to you. Because it does not have anything to do with you as a human, period. Period. But it's looking for the production or the addition to your human body. In other words, it was not a question as to Roe, the woman, I should say, her body and her fundamental rights. The question, the contention, the controversy, or the conspiracy was over, what about her fetus? See, because they knew she has fundamental rights over her own body, but at what point is that which she produces able to be enjoined to the state's compelling interest? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Can I get an amen? All right. So it's really never about your human body, but it's about the additions that you add, such as taking on civil and political rights from the government. That is a privilege. Those are benefits that you are taking. Government subsidies, as it were. State benefits. And so when you do that, you owe an obligation and a duty. Because what is actually taking place? It's known as an incorporation into the state. Citizenship is an incorporation into the state or government. That's what citizenship is. It is taking on a completely different capacity. Incorporation is the legal process to create a separate legal entity. When you become a citizen of anything or a member of anything, you are creating a separate legal entity or commercial entity. Let me give you another example and demonstration since we're on this hot streak. Go join a membership to the gym. You are creating an incorporation, or that is an act of incorporation. Therefore, you are creating a separate legal or commercial entity. How do we know that this is happening? Because of the fact that they give you an account number. What is an account number? It's essentially the license plate that belongs to that separate membership that you created that they can attach into their system and do their accounting with. Huh? Any membership that you take on, any credit card application that you take part in, you are creating a separate legal entity. This is commerce. Do you know what commerce means? Do you know the definition of commerce is also intercourse? Do you know what intercourse is? I hope you do. All right. Most of you should be 18. I hope you're 18 and over. But anyways, all right. Without being too deep, intercourse is the how shall I put it? Rated G. I'm thinking rated G. All right. Intercourse is when opposite sexes come together. Let's have that birds and bees conversation. To produce, they produce something, right? The man and the woman come together and they produce something, right? That is commerce, right? Hopefully it's consensual consideration, right? Contracting together. The two parties come together to make something, to produce something, to manufacture something. That's what it is. Commerce is intercourse. Look it up for yourself. And so with that being said, that's how a separate legal entity is created in an act of incorporation. Because it is intercourse. A baby is created. A legal baby is created. That's why it's called a child. You thought that the birth certificate had to do with your flesh and blood, didn't you? No, siree. What Jim Carrey say in Ace Ventura? Remember, that was so funny back in the day. What did he say? I have exorcised the demon. Remember that? It's like the room is all cleared. He was a fool. But that guy is awake. He's awake. Albert Taylor's here. Welcome. He says hi. Welcome. Make sure you hit that like button as you come on in. Don't forget the Paradigm Shifters gifts and codes expire tomorrow. So anybody that took part in the Paradigm Shifters webinar that we did and you had gifts, we did a raffle, and I guess some of you haven't claimed your gifts and what have you. So Bethany is letting me know that the code that you have expires tomorrow. So if you have any questions, make sure that you go over to the, here, I'll put it up for you. One moment here. Which one do I want to put up? So there's the Cash App for donations and whatever. If you enjoyed the information tonight and you want it to keep going and you want to encourage, a great way to do that is, through your financial support, $2, $5, whatever. And that's the way to do it there at the Cash App, $ American Consulate. All right. And if you had any other questions or anything like that, if you want to go deeper, delve deeper into something that was discussed here tonight, you can get that accomplished with a consultation. All right. We can talk about any of those topics there you see on the screen. The best way to get a contact to do so is knowledgewell4u, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. All right. What else we got for you? All right. So I will take a few questions if you have them before we get on off of here. No sense. We don't have to belabor. I hit you with some hard ones tonight. This is remedy. Roe v. Wade. Who knew way back in 1973 that it would have that great of an impact on us today? But I'm going to be using it. We are in the federal court. Wolf Starkart and myself and Beth and some other clients and things. We're in the federal court. We are doing this. We are actually doing this behind the scenes. You don't see the hard work we're putting in, but we're living what we're talking. We're not just talking. We're in the federal courts. We're about to start a couple more lawsuits as well. So hopefully you guys are behind us or getting behind us or getting in front of us, whichever. We need to be coming together. We need to be coming together. So if you have extra time and you would like to become involved, make sure you hit us up. Knowledgewell, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. We could greatly use, they say great minds think alike.
we can definitely use your assistance and your help. Okay. So Kimberly Miller says, "You are indeed awesome, Mr. X." Mr. X. Oh, Mr. X. Are you saying? Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying. All right. So if you have any other questions, now is the time to get them in. If not, we're going to sign off. Happy, again, March the 30th, 2022. And pay attention for the next upload. We will be picking up. It's just, we've been dealing with the federal court matter and all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of time, to do the documentation and paperwork and all that kind of stuff. A lot of research and a lot of study goes into it. So definitely appreciate all the support and that you can give. And I'll keep doing it as long as you keep supporting. All right. Make sure you hit us up at that Cash App, $ American Consulate. All right. All right. I look forward to more of your support, more of your camaraderie, more of your conversation, more of your comments, your questions, and what have you. Otherwise, I'll be here. You know how to find me. All right. So I don't know. I want to look into doing regular shows. So far, Wednesdays are okay. I tried Sundays. Sundays seem like nobody comes out. So maybe I'll stick with Wednesdays, about 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll see how it goes. I'll try it again. If I find, well, I usually do it on a daily basis. If I find something super hot, I will definitely put it up. Also, make sure that Patreon, you get on over there, because for those memberships and things, we drop those secret nuggets over there. Okay, so make sure you pick up a $15 or $30, $50 or $100 membership so that you can stay in the know with Knowledge Well Media. Okay, with that being said, I can quit running my mouth now. I love you all. Thank you all. I'm looking to do some trips this as the weather breaks. I want to come around and meet people, so definitely looking for your support there. If you go over to the Square site, I think we have something up there to help donate to us being able to make trips to come around and meet you individually, perhaps do seminars and everything. So look at the Square site there, scroll down, and look where you can donate to make that happen. All right. Otherwise, love you all. I will see you on the next upload. And now you've been made free. Question is, what are you going to do with it? All right. Juris signing out. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Most of you know that as the human parallel to this legal entity, this artifice of state, this creature of charter, you act as the surety for it. More times than not, you're ignorantly identifying as the legal entity. And so therefore that makes you the surety for it. They have to have a physical body or something to attach, liens to, and what have you. You're the one that provides the physical energy. You are the one that provides the labor for that legal entity.